Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. PFA Team of the Season. Who deserves to be there? Who doesn't? Was your favorite player there? Was he not? And if he wasn't, who did he get snubbed by? How did he get snubbed? What system did they play in? Did you agree with it? Did you disagree with it? Don't worry. Here are the interviews. We've got you covered. So on this edition of the interviews, I'm going to break down my PFA Team of the Season. So it's that time of the year, PFA Team of the Season. Who made it? Who didn't make it? Who do you think should have made it? Who do you think got snubbed? We look at the board. We have the PFA team in the red, 4-3-3 as they projected. Up front, Sergio Aguero, Harry Kane, Mo Salah. In midfield, Christian Eriksen, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva. At the back, you have Marcus Alonso, right back Kyle Walker, Nicolas Otamendi, Vertonghen, and in goal, who else? David De Gea. Who should have made it? Who didn't make it? I thought the team was pretty good. This is one of those years where there was less controversy in terms of who made it, but there were some positions where I think perhaps maybe it needed a change. We look at the left side. I know we could be very nitpicky and say Sergio Aguero doesn't play on the left wing, and for all the body of work that he's put into the Premier League, he deserves to be in one PFA Team of the Season. I think this is his first one, but if I'm looking at it as a whole, I don't think Sergio Aguero did enough consistently due to injuries and being out of the squad to be in this team this year. He's had better years in the Premier League. I know his goal tally says otherwise, but when we look at that left-sided role, perhaps we can even put him up front and switch. Well, no, we can't put that because Kane is up there, but if we're doing a 4-3-3, I would put Raheem Sterling in there. 17 goals this season, has evolved into a top player in a top side. Sure, his finishing does need work, but anything else that you want Raheem Sterling to do, he can do. He could sit back and mark the fullback side of the game. He can move into central positions, pick up the ball, turn, and run at goal. When with Pep, they had the wingers out wide. He would hold this position, wait for the team to get sucked in the back four, and then you see him sprint in behind. Raheem Sterling can do it all. He could play that role in that front three, any position that you want him to do. And what was missing to his game was goals. Should he have more goals? Perhaps. But when you look at the growth he's made this season under Pep, you can't deny that he deserves a role in the starting side. And at the end of the season, perhaps he'll hit 20 Premier League goals, which is a massive contribution for a player that who assumedly can't score goals. We look up front as well. If you don't want to put Raheem Sterling, then the other player that comes to mind is Roberto Firmino. 15 goals so far in the Premier League, has evolved into more of a center forward poacher because of the fact that, yes, when he came from Hoffenheim, he plays at number 10. In his role at Liverpool, he does play at the top, but often what we used to see him do is just drop in a bit deeper, allow Mane to run forward, allow Salah to run forward. But as of late this season, we've seen a bit more from Firmino, more than just the traditional false number 9. You've seen him make, and we know that he's used to making runs into these inside channel positions, but we've seen a lot of times where he's been able to cut across the box. He's looking to make diagonal runs into the box to finish off plays. He's obviously improved his goal scoring tally. Like Sterling, he could finish with 20 given the fact and the way Liverpool play and how many goals they score per game, and it just looks that he deserves something more. You kind of feel like he's been underrated at Liverpool, and you can argue that he is the most important player to their system. With Philip Coutinho gone to Barcelona, it seems like now people have realized who Roberto Firmino is, and he's proving it week in, week out. Salah gets the goals, Mane's pace gets the praise, but Firmino is the engine behind it, and him being able to mix that false 9 role with making intelligent runs into the box to fool defenders is pivotal, and his goal scoring tally tells you the same thing. You look at the midfield, the only player that you could probably mention that deserves to get into that midfield is Fernandinho, but to avoid an all Manchester City midfield would be very good. But the more important thing is that Christian Eriksen deserves it. Yes, we have Harry Kane up front. Yes, Harry Kane takes all the headlines, scores all the goals. But when you look at the Spurs side, when you need someone to change a game, unlock a game, create those chances for Harry Kane, who is it? Christian Eriksen. He doesn't even need to play in that number 10 role in what would be a 4-2-3-1. We've seen him play off the left, cut inwards. We've seen him come into the left, deliver crosses into the box. We've seen him move into midfield, pick up the ball, and be able to spray passes into these areas. spray passes over the top into players like Son, Ali, Lamella, Kane. Christian Eriksen has developed it all, and he is scoring goals as well. I think he's in double digits at the moment with 10 Premier League goals. Massive contribution for a player that was at one point in his Premier League career only known or best positioned to beat in a number 10 role. Now he can play anywhere on the front line. He's contributing in terms of assists. He's getting goals. He's putting service on a platter for his players, and he's making the difference. So he's a worthy player here, especially the way, if this was Pep Guardiola's side winning manager of the season, you would feel that he would play Eriksen, De Bruyne, and Silva somehow and fit them in. We look at the back four. No real discussion here. Vertonghen has been pretty good this season. Otamendi has had probably his best season in England. There's no real center backs to rival what they've been doing. Yes, you can mix in Davinson Sanchez, still a bit young, still makes a few too many mistakes for my liking. So Vertonghen and Otamendi is fine. Right back, Kyle Walker has moved from Spurs to Manchester City, has been a stellar standout, playing up the flank, moving infield to play as an inverted fullback. He's played in a back three. He's done it all. He's a key cog to what Manchester City do. He offers the pace when they push men forward and look to get hit on the counterattack, and he deserves it. David De Gea, arguably the best goalkeeper in the world. Maybe Eriksen deserves a shout to be in the PFA team of the season, but you can't leave De Gea out. No discussion there. And then we look at left back, Marcos Alonso. The problem here is that the Premier League lacks quality, and you could look at all the top leagues in the world, lack quality fullbacks. It's hard to really find a fullback that stands out. Who knows if this is just a gimme for Marcos Alonso. Didn't really have the best season at Chelsea, and if you look at their standings, you have to question why he's there. Good going forward, a bit slow coming back. Has offered goals, but the only player that really comes to mind that could fit that role is maybe Andy Robertson. He didn't really start much in the first half of the season, but in the second half of the season, he's been pivotal, driving up the flank for Liverpool, overlapping because the wide players do move infield, combining with James Milner, delivering dangerous crosses into the box. That's what he's good for. Hasn't been renowned for the defensive side of his game prior to this Liverpool move, but he's improved substantially under Klopp, and he offers that threat in wide areas because his crossing ability is superb, and he puts them right in the 6-yard box where team defenders know what to do with it and teammates are able to tap it in. So if there was one player I'd put there over Marcos Alonso, given how he's improved this season, and it's unfair that he's only played possibly the second half of the season, but when you look at it as a whole, Andy Robertson deserves to be at left back. But that's who I think the PFA team of the season should be. Just a few minor adjustments. Besides that, it looks like they got it right this time. But what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think. Meet me in the comments below. Don't forget I upload videos every day, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And that was your daily dose of the interviews.